Today is going to be a fun day because today we are playing with the newly buffed Wind Brownie Magician AQUILA. Now, if you do not have Tiana, this is your lucky day because he got such a great buff. It seems so insignificant, but that guaranteed additional turn, as long as he strips something, as long as he strips at least one thing, all he has to do is strip one thing, he gives himself and his team attack power buff and crit buff. So you have an AoE strip into potentially a stun if he's on despair, plus attack buff and crit buff all in the same skill. That's not even to mention the fact that he gives himself an extra turn with skill 1. He gives himself an extra turn with skill 3. Potentially on Violent Runes. We're not even talking about Violent Runes. We're not even touching Violent Runes today. But potentially on Violent Runes, this guy can turn cycle like so crazy much because he can keep resetting his Violent counter and potentially just go absolutely insane. So we're not doing Violent today. We're doing Despair, which means that he's going to AoE strip stun into an attack power buff and crit buff, which we already mentioned. He is on speed crit. He's on Despair. He's on speed crit damage attack over here. He's going to be faster than our DPS unit. So the team that we're going to use him with, normally we would go, like, for example, if we want to do like Tiana, Galleon, Zyros. Well, now we don't need Tiana and Galleon. You know, defense breaker would be nice. We could take a defense breaker into there, but we can take AQUILA in the spot almost of Tiana and Galleon. So we could take another defense breaker that also does damage on top of that. We could take a Beth, we could take a Savannah, we could take so many different things, so many different defense breakers that also do damage. Or we could not even worry about a defense breaker and bring what we're going to bring in today. We're going to bring a Zyros and a Lucian with AQUILA. So we're going to do, I think, AQUILA, Bernard, Zyros, Lucian. Now, if you don't have Zyros, like, oh, man, well, I don't have Zyros. The point is less of a Zyros and just some kind of, I mean, you can use the Fire Succubus. You could use the Dark Pixie. Anything that does cooldown resets, or you could just opt for not even cooldown resets and you can go for some other kind of fluff damage with some CC or something else. We may even try some different stuff. Who knows? I'm very excited to get this started, so let's do it. So here's the team. It looks fairly old school, doesn't it? For those of you that have been playing for quite a while, you're like, this looks like a team that I would have used in like 2016 or something like that, right? Because we got the Bernard. Bernard is always a stable. Bernard's attack bar booster. Then we have strips into attack power buffs, crit buffs. We have Zyros mostly for resets and fluff damage, right? Because we have 3 things that are going to revive. So we need to make sure. I mean, we could, even if we want to be a little bit more, a little bit safer, we could go for the accuracy leader skill. If we would like, I guess we could try it like this. And then the Zyros to cool everything down, do a little bit of fluff damage, and then Lucian's going to do he's going to be the main damage source, and he's going to clean everything up. But yeah, I know that we would need to do maximum damage from the Zyros, we would need a defense break in addition to this. However, they're so fast. Oh, we don't have a speed lead. They're still fast. Okay, so we got some strips. And we got some stuns too, and now we have an attack power buff. And now we have a reset. Beautiful. People that don't have Tiana right now are rejoicing. They're like, no, they're still probably bummed that they don't have Tiana, but they're probably like not too bummed, right? They're probably like, oh, you know what? I'll survive without Tiana. I guess I'll just use AQUILA now, right? And again, if you don't have a Zyros, hey guys, we gotta test out that buffed Zyros skill 1. But if you don't have a Zyros, you can use Dark Pixie. You can use Dark Pixie's only 1 turn cooldown with her AoE though. You can use Samoth. Actually, is not bad. He doesn't have a 100% chance to cooldown, but he does also have a slow now. And then what else? Fire Succubus is actually not bad. She's got an arena leader too. Well, what is her arena leader? Anyway, let's see some more. So here we have a defense that's looking to stop double Lucian offenses from hitting it. However, we're not using a double Lucian offense. We're using a Zyros offense with AQUILA. So we have 2 chances to interrupt them. Number 1, if we strip and stun some of their units, or even just if they're not on will runes and we stun. We only need to strip 1 unit. Or if we just reset things with the Zyros, right? So we have 2 different opportunities too, and we have accuracy leader skill, right? So 2 different opportunities to actually interrupt their immunity. Please strip AQUILA. He may miss one. Watch, he misses all of them. Watch, he misses every single one. Oh, he got everything. Okay. He got everything. Very nice. Can we actually increase cooldown? Okay, very nice. Boom, boom. There we go. There we go. And increase cooldown so we don't have to worry. This is beautiful. Oh my god. It's a nice arena offense. Here's another one you may not want a Lucian because there's 2 tanky fire threats, and then there's also an HP lead. And the Akroma has the a few patches ago, Chroma actually got, what was it? Maybe it was actually a year ago. Maybe it was quite a while ago. The crit resist passive. So we can definitely take a Zyros into there though. If we take a Zyros, that kind of nullifies not the Akroma obviously, but it nullifies some of the other stuff. And I would like to make sure... Ooh, they don't even have... They have 1 will rune. We need to strip this. Thank you. Oh my god. 1 will rune. Zyros... I mean, not Zyros. Perna resisted, though. Okay. GG, I think we're actually just going to nuke the Akroma down. Yep, let's do attack power and defense break to you. So you don't kill the Lucian. Never mind, he's gonna kill Lucian anyway. So yeah, there we go. We just auto now. GG, yeah, he's just gonna kill Lucian anyway. That Lucian should be grinded too, but you know, Perna's Perna. So anyway, yep, that's definitely a team we can take that into. The Zyros is strong there. Here's definitely another one we can hit with this. However, I feel like this is kind of a Zyros spotlight at this point, so I don't want to get people thinking that like they absolutely need Zyros. Just something that resets cooldowns. So we can also use... where is he? We can First we have to find him. We can also use a unit that we can't find. Eventually we'll find... I'm looking for Samoth, okay? I'm looking for Samoth. Eventually, we're going to find... I found him, guys. He was right in front of my face the whole time. So, just anything that resets. Also, he has a speed break now, too. So, that's not bad. I hope he's speed tuned correct. I think he's speed tuned correctly. I mean, I didn't speed tune him. I didn't just check it or anything, which I probably should have. Everything's on will runes. We want to make sure that everything is on will runes. Wow. Okay. So, we did not get the Samoth. Can we cool down? We did get some cooldowns. Nice. So let's do one of these. Samoth is coming back. We didn't kill anything. Wow. I really hope Ariel is not on Violent Runes right now. Actually, let's kill you so that you don't come back. Can we stun? No, no stun. But we still come back with this. Wow, that was kind of unfortunate how that played out. And now we lose. Now we lose, guys. GG. So this one, they have 3 fire units and 1 wind unit and 2 revives. Well, 2 revive death prevention, whatever. So I feel like this one we definitely bring Zyros, and we definitely make sure that we have accuracy lead. Yeah, we need accuracy lead. Yeah, we need accuracy lead. You know what? I think you could have gone either way, though. I think accuracy lead, attack power lead, you could go either way. Depends on how... some crazy fast runes. Crazy fast runes on these Junos. Okay. Speed lead, but... Okay, increase cooltime on everything. Nice. Let's do... Is she on Nemesis? You think she's on Nemesis? Okay. I want her to get some extra damage into her. That's why. That's why I wanted to do that. Okay. GG, and we can see this newly buffed Vanessa. Here's another one. I feel like we might actually be able to get away with not using a Zyros here, right? Because I know we have element advantage with the Poseidon over these 3. So let's go, Poseidon. Poseidon's just going to do some fluff damage, attack gauge resets. So attack gauge reductions. It's kind of attack gauge reset, attack gauge reduction, whatever. So we have 2 things that we can potentially strip. Does AQUILA let us down? No, he does not. Okay, so we do this, and we make sure that Juno hopefully does not cut in, because then that would be a problem. We should push back the attack gauge on the Juno, and then we didn't get them all along. What? So this is also, by the way, guys, this is not a fat Lucian. That's why he's not doing that much damage. So, please don't do the aerial. Please do not cleanse the aerial. Nice. She dumb. Let's do, I guess let's do this. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's finish that off. Let's do... I know she's gonna heal more, but at least we can silence the area. Never mind. Never mind. Let's do one of those. Okay, let's do one of those. Yep, and we'll just deal with it, right? We'll just deal with it. There we go. All right, guys, before we go, let's talk about some pros and cons to AQUILA. Number one, he is an attack type unit. However, we're not really using him. We're kind of using him as an attack type unit because we have him on speed, crit damage, attack. However, we're really using him mostly as a support unit. We're using him to make sure that the enemies are stripped and maybe even stunned. And we're also using him for an attack power buff and a crit buff. So buffing our team, debuffing the enemies. For the same reason Shannon is so strong, because she, like, if, for example, in Giants B12, because she buffs your team and she debuffs the enemies, right? So AQUILA is strong in the same way that Shannon is strong, in the same way that some other units are strong that both buff your team and debuff the enemies. Number two is that there's some teams that you don't want to take AQUILA into. Number one might be Miho's. It's going to be rough against Miho's because he's got the crit buff, right? So that means you're just going to be constantly critting. Constantly critting. Number two, which you wouldn't really think about, is the Wind Monkey, right? Because the situation here, and you're going to want Wilburins on AQUILA also, the situation here is that AQUILA is going to AoE strip with skill 3. Wind Monkey is going to say, hey, don't do that. And he's going to revenge skill 1, stun the AQUILA. AQUILA's not going to get a second turn, right? So you want to watch out for those Wind Monkeys. You want to watch out for the Mihos. Those are half this Bagel. Those are half the slow teams in Arena right now. Is Wind Monkeys and Mihos. That's correct. Those are half the slow teams. So I'm just being real. I'm just like, that's it. It is what it is. The second thing is, depending on what team you use, like if you're using a team like we were using, you can't really hit the super speedy teams with the Samoth Tritons. So there's very few teams that you can actually hit those with. You can outspeed or you can bruiser them as far as hitting those Samoth Tritons. But, or Samoth Tritons or Chiwus or Tianlangs or things like that, right? There's counters to them, but this is not one of them. So keep that in mind, is that you're not going to be hitting speed teams with this specific team unless you want to change it up. And then also the Mihos and the Xingzheis. So those, I think, are the biggest things for this AQUILA. I would like actually some more, because we only have 62% crit rate, 60% accuracy. The crit rate is fine. Crit rate is 52%, so actually we're going to have 82%. Which means that the crit damage is very valuable, where normally, like, if you don't have too high a crit rate, you're really not seeing too many people using crit buffs nowadays, right? People used to use Seek back in the day, the Fire Hellhound, and they used to only need 70% crit rate on Lucian. Nowadays, people still running like 70% crit rate on Lucian, but they're not really doing any crit buffs. And I'm like, that's not, I mean, like, not endgame players. Endgame players are all going for 100% crit rate on their Lucians. But, yeah, you see a lot of people with low crit rate on Lucians, and this actually enables you to have 70% crit rate on Zyros, 70% crit rate on whatever, like Samoth or Poseidon or whatever, 70% crit rate on Lucian, and 70% is perfectly fine because you're using the AQUILA's crit buff here, which is going to buff the crit rate of 30%. So then you effectively have, if you have 70%, you have 100%. Right? So anyway, just some things to keep in mind. Food for thought. Really fun team though. A pretty solid team. Again, there's a couple things you can't hit, like Mihos and like Xingzheis. You got to be careful with the Xingzheis. You can still hit them, but you got to be careful with the Xingzheis. And Wilburins is going to be strong. And then the speed teams. And the speed teams are speed teams. Like I would say actually more than half the teams are speed teams. So that's. But the thing is, most teams aren't going to be able to hit speed teams unless they're faster or they're bruisers with really, really strong passives. So that's just, he's still better than average as far as an arena offense unit. He's significantly better than average, but there's still, again, the speed teams are speed teams. So there's not really too much you can do about that unless you want to take this into a much, much, much faster team and go like Speed Lead and Kabila and AQUILA. Actually, you can do that. Speedly. Well, I would say not because Kabila's not going to do enough attack gauge push, right? So I would say maybe if you're running a, I don't have a frigate. We know this, right? I don't have a frigate. If you're running Samoth, frigate, Aquila, Lucian, that's going to be strong. So if you happen to have Samoth and frigate, then this might be a sign you can still hit those really, you can still hit those fast defenses because you're going to be able to just hit it with Samoth and Aquila. Samoth, frigate, Aquila, and Lucian. That's going to be a solid offense. I don't have a frigate, but for you guys that do have a frigate, you lucked out with this Aquila buff. So anyway, because he gets a guaranteed, as long as he strips something, he gets a guaranteed turn, right? So unless the enemies don't have will runes or shield runes or anything, then that might be an issue. Then he doesn't get another turn. But then you don't have to strip anything. Then you could just go for Fever Time regardless. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll just go for Fever Time. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you as always in... Still think he's pretty nice after the buff. But I'll see you as always in the next one.